Before I was a Teach First participant, I was a founding director of Volunteer Uganda. And then my first year of teaching in the UK, in contrast to having worked with about 15 schools in this area of South-West Uganda, really highlighted some of the issues and challenges faced by teachers here. And it became pretty apparent that there were some potential synergies or links, partnerships, which could really bring up education in this area by using the really forward-thinking approaches and modern pedagogy underpinned strategies that lots of Teach First participants use. The first component of the Teach First internship was going into primary and secondary schools in Uganda and looking at how people are teaching at the moment and identifying key potential areas for development of education in this context.
Two stars, two things that you think went well, two things that you think good, and the which, what could be better?
So we have seen that working as a group sometimes improves on our vocabulary, then it improves on our skills. We have made some friendships, and even now this man could sit on that bench, but now he's our friend. We are as one group, so working as a group, it's a good thing.
And furthermore, it has brought some of the solo learners that have been amongst us. They also tried to cooperate, and they had what we were making clear, and they also understood.
So after completing an academic year in the UK, it's been brilliant to come out here and actually focus on the pedagogy and not just the behaviour issues that we face back in England, to teach students that are engaged and want to learn.
I think I've learned a lot from teaching here that I can take back to England, and like Natalie said, we've concentrated so much on behaviour this year. It's nice to actually have a class where you can focus on strategies and actually see them implemented and work very successfully, and they've really appreciated that and they've taken it on board. So it's been a very rewarding experience, I found.
Once the key areas for development had been identified, the focus shifted to trying to find ways of transferring some of the approaches that work really well in the UK to this context where teachers don't have electricity, a lot of their students don't have equipment. You have large class sizes, and it's basically a very limited resource context. So it was repackaging some of the approaches and coming up with different evolved strategies, if you like, that really lend themselves to this environment where it really is chalk, talk and exercise books, and group work and various other approaches really lend themselves well to this type of teaching.
As we've had this session, we have learnt new skills, new methods of handling a class.
We shall be able to use group work in our teaching.
We have learned that the one who is unable, you can group him with others who are able.
We have learned assessment, questioning techniques in order to enable people to understand.
We use a method called the think, pair, share, where a child is given a question to first think of the views he thinks may be correct, and then share with his friend.
For the slow learners to be involved in the lesson, I will use a lot of pictures when teaching actions or this. We can see how pupils have understood by using happy thumbs. Then those who are medium can use middle, and those who have not use lower thumb.
We have learned two types of questioning. One, open-ended, and closed-ended questions. So we are encouraged mostly to use open-ended questions, of which require many answers.
So when I reach my school, I'll make sure that all the teachers get to know what I've learned from this workshop.
If every teacher in every school involved could get a chance of coming to this training, it would be better for our pupils and the whole school at large to get at least something from you.
Teach First, we've been told the whole year, okay, you're here to address educational disadvantage, but then you come out here and you actually realise what that means properly for the first time. The teachers here don't get the kind of training we get in England. It's a massive problem in Uganda, clearly. You get your certification when you become a teacher and then you're left to it. Workshops like this just don't exist otherwise. The teacher salary out here is 8,000 shillings, which is £2 a day. They can't afford the kind of advancement in their careers that they should deserve, and so coming out and being able to give away something that they should have a right to is so fulfilling. In England, even when things were going well, I never quite felt I was having that kind of impact upon other people.
Yeah, definitely. The 5 of us have worked really closely together to plan the sessions at the school and also teacher training sessions. When you're explaining things like 2 stars and a wish, or the importance of having more plenaries in a lesson, you see that light bulb go on with the teachers, and that's...
You suddenly have them going happy thumbs I'm going to use in my lessons. It's given us so much more confidence in the skills we picked up over this year. I mean, I don't think I'd realised just how much you pick up over a year of Teach First, and when you're giving it away you really feel like you're doing something special. This year there's been 5 of us coming out and working over 2 weeks, working with 40 teachers. Now the class sizes here, 50, mean that hopefully we've impacted upon the teaching and upon the lives of 2,000 kids. Next year, if there's 12 of us, if we can work with 80 teachers, we can double it, suddenly we're working with 4,000 kids, and we've got a knock-on effect and impact onto the education of 4,000 most underprivileged kids in the world.
Thank you very much. Yes.